If you're asking how to get rich, you're already operating on a higher level of awareness than the average person. Most people don't even get that far. They've been programmed from birth to suppress that desire, to call it greed, to feel guilty about wanting more. They've been brainwashed into thinking that wanting financial freedom is immoral, when in reality, it's the most responsible thing you can do for yourself, for your family, for your legacy. The world doesn't respect poverty. No matter how spiritual or kind you are, if you're broke, the world sees you as a liability, not an asset. Understand that first. Wealth doesn't just give you luxury. It gives you power, influence, security, and the ability to make real change. That's why getting rich isn't just about money. It's about reclaiming control over your life. The moment you wake up and say, "I want to be rich," is the moment you separate yourself from the herd, but wanting is not enough. Everyone wants. The difference lies in who is willing to pay the price. Most people say they want to be rich, but they can't even control their own sleep schedule. They hit snooze, they procrastinate. They binge, they drift. They operate like slaves to their feelings instead of soldiers of discipline. You will never build wealth if you live life like the average man, because the average man is average for a reason. He accepts comfort over greatness. He trades his time for a wage. He complains about inflation but refuses to learn new skills. He blames the government, his parents, the economy, anyone but himself. That is weakness. That is victimhood, and it has no place in the mindset of someone destined for wealth. To get rich, you have to reprogram everything you were taught about work, time, and money. You were taught to trade time for money. Go to school, get a job, work 40 hours a week, save 10%, retire at 65, and hope your pension doesn't disappear. That's not a plan, that's a trap. It was designed to keep you obedient and replaceable. If you follow that path, you'll be working until you die, and your dreams will rot in the coffin with you. You want to break out of that, then understand this. Rich people don't get paid for their time, they get paid for their value. They get paid because they create leverage. They get paid because they own assets that make money while they sleep. They've built systems, brands, investments, intellectual property, things that don't require their physical presence every single hour. That's how you escape the treadmill. That's how you buy back your time. Leverage is the name of the game. If you're still getting paid by the hour, you're playing the wrong game. Your income will always be limited. I don't care if you're a doctor making $300K a year. You're still a wage slave, because the second you stop showing up, the money stops. That's not wealth. That's a golden cage. Real freedom is when you can disappear for a month, live wherever you want, spend time with whoever you choose, and still make money. That requires leverage. Leverage through business. Leverage through capital. Leverage through technology, and most importantly, leverage through mindset. You don't get that by clocking in and out. You get that by thinking like a king, not a servant. But here's what separates the dreamers from the doers: action. The average person listens to speeches, watches motivational videos, buys books, gets hyped up for 5 minutes, and then goes back to being mediocre. You don't build an empire on inspiration alone. You build it with execution. Consistency, ruthlessness, a non-stop obsession with progress. You have to move with urgency. You have to treat every day like you're at war, because you are. You're in a war with distraction, a war with mediocrity, a war with the version of you that wants to stay comfortable. You win that war by doing what needs to be done, not what you feel like doing. You show up when it's boring. You grind when no one's watching. You train when others are sleeping. That's how wealth is built. In the shadows, in the silence, through sacrifice. You want to be rich? Ask yourself, what are you doing with your time? Every second counts. Every hour you waste on Netflix, video games, scrolling through other people's fake highlight reels is time you'll never get back. Rich people treat time like oxygen. Every minute matters. Poor people waste it like they have eternity. Time is more valuable than money. You can always make more money, but you can never get time back. So if your day is full of distractions, if you're surrounding yourself with low-value people, if your habits are weak, then your results will reflect that. Your bank account is a mirror of your discipline. It doesn't lie. It doesn't care about your excuses. It only reflects your decisions. Start thinking in terms of return on energy. Every activity, every conversation, every dollar spent should have a purpose. You need to become strategic with your time and focus. Stop living reactively. Plan your life, set targets, track your results, measure your output, be your own boss even before you have employees. Lead yourself like a commander in the battlefield. There's no room for softness. Softness makes you broke. Excuses make you average. Laziness makes you irrelevant. You either rise or rot. Choose, and don't think for a second that getting rich means you can take it easy. The grind doesn't stop when the money comes, it intensifies, because once you taste freedom, you'll never want to go back. Once you see how the system is rigged against the weak, you'll understand that wealth isn't a luxury, it's survival. Inflation eats your savings, taxes rob your labor, rent rises, food costs spike, and the poor just complain hoping someone saves them. You think the rich cry about gas prices, they own the oil companies. They don't suffer, they adapt, they position, they play offense, not defense. And that's exactly how you need to move. Stop crying, start creating, stop begging, start building. Your future depends on it. You have the internet, you have a phone, you have more tools than anyone in history to create wealth from nothing. Yet you still complain, you still wait, you still hope. Hope is not a strategy, work is. Learn a skill, build a business, sell a service, flip something, monetize your mind, get paid for solving problems. If you're not solving problems, you're not getting paid. It's that simple. You want to make $1 million. Solve $1 million problem. You want to get there faster. Solve a $10 million problem. Don't overcomplicate it. Value equals wealth. Skill equals currency. Discipline equals income. You want more. Become more and stop talking about what you're going to do. Nobody cares about your intentions. The world pays you for execution. You're not special until you produce results. Stop looking for shortcuts, tricks, hacks. There are none. Just grind, just strategy, just patience and pressure. Compound those things every day and you'll become unstoppable, but you have to start now, not next week, not when you're motivated. Now, because every second you wait, someone else is getting ahead. Someone else is closing the deal, launching the product, building the brand, stacking the cash. While you sit in analysis paralysis, someone else is making money in silence. And lastly, eliminate the fear of failure. Failure is part of the game. You will lose. You will mess up. You will be embarrassed. Good. That means you're in motion. That means you're learning. Every successful person has failed more than you've even tried. So what are you afraid of? Looking dumb, losing money, being judged? That's small-minded thinking. If you want to get rich, you need thick skin. You need unbreakable confidence. You need to walk into every room like you own it, even when you're broke. Because wealth starts in the mind long before it hits your account. You don't become rich. You decide to be. Then you move like it until reality catches up. Most people never get rich because they don't even understand what money really is. They think it's just paper, numbers on a screen, or something you earn by clocking in and being a good little employee. That's not money. That's a leash. That's a system built to keep you obedient. Real money is power. Real money is influence. Real money is time. Real money is the ability to say no, the ability to walk away, the ability to choose. That's why the rich think differently from the poor. They don't chase money, they attract it. They build value, control systems, own equity, and understand how to make money work for them. You work for money because you were trained to do so. They make money work for them because they trained their minds to master the game. Getting rich isn't about luck. It's not about being born into the right family. It's not about your education, your gender, your background, or your race. It's about how you respond to the cards you're dealt. Every single day, you're making choices, and every choice you make is either bringing you closer to wealth or pulling you deeper into mediocrity. You think skipping that workout doesn't matter. You think spending 3 hours watching shows doesn't cost you anything. You think hanging out with losers just for company isn't damaging. Every small decision you make becomes your future. Compound mediocrity and you get poverty. Compound discipline and you get wealth. Wealth is built in silence, in the late nights, early mornings, and weekends when everyone else is relaxing. Everyone wants to shine, but nobody wants to grind. They want the lifestyle, but they can't handle the pressure. They want the results, but they run from the sacrifice, and that's why they stay broke. Broke isn't just about money. Broke is a mindset. It's how you think, how you talk, how you move. You could strip a rich man of everything, take his bank accounts, his assets, his connections, and in 5 years, he'll be rich again. Why? Because he's not rich because of the things he has. He's rich because of the person he became. You can't take that away from him. That mindset, that grit, that relentlessness, that vision, it's internal, and if you don't have it, nothing external will save you. If you want to get rich, the first war you have to win is with yourself. You need to stop negotiating with your weaknesses. Stop trying to balance everything. The rich don't live in balance. They live in obsession. They are obsessed with winning, obsessed with growth, obsessed with dominating every arena they step into. That's how they move. That's how they operate. You think Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or any titan of industry became who they are by being balanced? No. They were possessed by their mission. They were relentless in their pursuit. You think they cared about opinions, about fitting in, about pleasing people? Absolutely not. They knew they were building something bigger than comfort. You've got people out here talking about taking it slow, being realistic, waiting for the right time. That's loser language. There is no right time. There is no perfect plan. There is only now. If you wait, you lose. If you hesitate, you fall behind. The world doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It rewards the bold, the decisive. The ones who move fast and fix the mistakes along the way. That's the secret. You don't need perfection. You need speed. Execution beats perfection every single time. While most people are planning, tweaking, doubting, someone else is acting. And action is what separates the dreamers from the doers. You want to get rich. You need to get uncomfortable. You need to be willing to do what others won't. Wake up earlier. Go to bed later. Read when others are partying. Build when others are sleeping. Risk when others are playing it safe. That's the price, and the truth is, most people aren't willing to pay it. They want the prize, but not the process. They want the outcome, but not the work. And that's why they will never taste wealth. You don't deserve the mansion, the cars, the freedom, the legacy, if you're not willing to bleed for it. Wealth is earned in sweat, in sacrifice, in consistency. It's not handed to you, it's forged in pain. You must fall in love with the process, because the process is what shapes the man. You've been taught to avoid pain, but pain is your ally. Pain is the greatest teacher. When you fail, you learn. When you're broke, you're forced to evolve. When you're tired but still working, you build discipline. And discipline is the backbone of wealth. It's not sexy. It's not glamorous. But it is necessary. Show me a man with discipline, and I'll show you a man destined for riches, because he's not controlled by his emotions. He's not derailed by setbacks. He keeps showing up, rain or shine, because the mission matters more than the mood. That's how you win, and understand this. Your environment matters. You cannot expect to get rich while surrounding yourself with average people. If your circle isn't hungry, focused, driven, then it's a trap. Mediocre company creates mediocre results. Get around winners. Get around people who challenge you, who make you uncomfortable, who force you to level up. If you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room. Winners don't waste time convincing the lazy to try harder. They align with those who move like machines. They align with people on fire. So look around you. Audit your circle. Are they assets or liabilities? Are they pushing you or pulling you down? Cut the dead weight. Your future depends on it. Wealth also requires strategy. You can't just work hard. You have to work smart. You have to understand money. How it flows, how it grows, how to multiply it. Start by increasing your income. Stack cash. Then learn how to invest it. Real estate, stocks, digital assets, businesses. Whatever you understand, own it. Build it, control it. Every dollar you earn should be put to work. If your money isn't working for you, you're still a slave to it. The rich don't save. They invest. They put their money into vehicles that grow, that scale, that compound. And they protect it with intelligence. Learn taxes, learn laws, learn loopholes. The system is built for the informed. If you're ignorant, you'll always be a victim of it. Learn sales, learn persuasion. Learn how to build influence. These are money-making skills. You can have the best product in the world, but if you can't sell it, it's worthless. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you can't communicate your value, you'll be overlooked. That's the brutal truth. Money flows to those who can move people. through words, through emotion, through action. So sharpen your communication, sharpen your presence. Be the person who can walk into a room and own it, not by arrogance, but by certainty. That energy is magnetic, and money is drawn to it like gravity, and most importantly, never settle. No matter how much you make, there's always another level. There's always more to conquer. Don't let a little success fool you into thinking you've arrived. That's how people stagnate. That's how empires fall. You must remain hungry. Stay a student. Stay aggressive. Stay evolving, because the game never stops, and the second you get comfortable, someone else is grinding to take your spot. So protect the fire inside you. Feed it daily. Protect your edge. Keep your standards high and never tolerate anything below excellence. Getting rich isn't just about money. It's about transformation. It's about becoming a different animal, a beast, someone who dominates life instead of being dominated by it. That's what this journey requires, and only the relentless will survive it. Once you've built the mindset, once you've cultivated the discipline, once you've started stacking cash and learning the game, the next phase is simple. Dominate, not survive, not maintain, dominate. Getting rich isn't about making a little more money than your peers. It's not about finally affording that car or that vacation. That's crumbs. That's what the weak celebrate. Real wealth is about separation, total separation, creating a gap so wide between you and the average man that you're no longer playing the same game. You get there by systemizing success. You stop chasing deals and start building machines. That means automation, delegation, and scaling. That means taking your skill, your product, your offer, and creating leverage. Because if your income depends on your presence, you don't own a business, you own a job, and you can't get rich trading time for money forever. There's a cap. The real money comes when you remove yourself from the grind and let systems run the show. That's how the top 1% live. They buy time, they don't sell it. But let's be honest, most people aren't even thinking like this. They're still in survival mode, still trying to make ends meet, still hoping someone gives them a raise. That's loser programming. You have to rewire yourself for abundance. That means killing the poverty mindset, the scarcity mindset, the fear of losing. You don't get rich by playing defense. You get rich by going on offense hard. That means taking bigger risks, making bolder moves, betting on yourself when nobody else will. And if that makes you uncomfortable, good, because comfort is the enemy of growth. You'll never scale if you're scared of pressure. Pressure is the prerequisite for greatness, and the higher you rise, the more pressure you'll feel, bigger decisions, bigger consequences, more eyes watching, more snakes in the grass. That's the cost. But if you can't handle pressure, you don't deserve power. Every millionaire, every boss, every mogul, they learned to thrive under pressure. While everyone else is breaking down, they're breaking through. That's the difference, the ability to remain calm in chaos. To stay sharp when everything's falling apart. To move like a general in the middle of war. That's what separates the elite from the average. And don't expect support, don't expect applause. The path to getting rich is lonely. People won't understand your vision. They'll call you crazy. They'll mock your hustle. They'll try to guilt you for outgrowing them. That's normal. That's expected. When you start climbing, you expose other people's laziness. Your discipline shines a light on their excuses, and they hate you for it. Let them. You're not here to be liked. You're here to win. You're here to rise. You're here to build an empire so powerful that the same people who doubted you will pretend they always believed in you. Now let's talk results, because that's the only thing that matters. Not dreams, not plans, not potential. Results. What have you actually built? What are you earning? What do you own? You see, the world rewards results, not effort, not intention, not motivation. If you don't produce, you don't deserve to win. Harsh, maybe, but that's reality. The scoreboard doesn't care how hard you tried. It cares if you delivered, and you get results by being ruthless with your time, your standards, and your focus. You eliminate distractions. You say no more than you say yes. You build momentum and refuse to let it die. You also need speed, not just in execution, but in decision making. The rich move fast. They see an opportunity, they pounce. They feel an instinct, they act. They're not paralyzed by what-ifs and overthinking. While the poor are stuck analyzing and doubting, the rich are doing and adjusting. That agility is a weapon. It lets them capitalize before anyone else even reacts. And the only way to move fast is to trust yourself, to build a mind sharp enough to process chaos and still make the right move. You don't get there by playing it safe. You get there by getting in the ring and taking hits. At a certain level, money becomes a game. It's not about survival anymore. It's about legacy, about impact, about freedom. You're not just stacking cash. You're building something that lives beyond you. You start thinking generational. What am I creating that my children's children can benefit from? That's how dynasties are born. That's how wealth stops being a moment and becomes a movement. But you can't even have this conversation until you break through survival mode. Until you stop thinking like a peasant and start moving like royalty. And let's be real, some of you are still looking for motivation, still waiting for the right mood, the right energy, the perfect plan. That's weakness. You think I care how I feel every day. You think I ask myself if I'm inspired. That's not how killers think. That's not how champions move. They wake up and execute whether they feel like it or not. Motivation is a trap. Discipline is your weapon. Make that switch and you become unstoppable. You also have to drop the ego. That's one of the final barriers to massive wealth. So many people stay broke because they want to look successful instead of being successful. They buy chains before they buy investments. They buy cars before they buy assets. They'd rather impress the crowd than elevate their net worth. That's peasant thinking. That's why you'll see people wearing $1,000 shoes and sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Priorities all wrong. You want to be rich, delay the flex, delay the gratification, stack the money, build the foundation. Then when you step out, it's not rented, it's not borrowed, it's not fake, it's owned. It's yours, and here's the truth they won't tell you. Money solves problems. It gives you control, options, security. It lets you move with power in a world that tries to keep you powerless. Anyone telling you money doesn't matter is either broke or trying to keep you broke. Money matters. Get some, get a lot, then get more, because the more you have, the more you can do, the more you can give, the more lives you can change. But don't skip the order. You take care of yourself first. You get your house in order first. You build the fortress before you start handing out charity, because broke generosity is just noise. Real wealth creates impact. And finally, understand this. No one's coming to save you. No one is going to build your dream for you. You can pray all you want, but without action, it's wasted breath. You can read all the books, watch all the videos, buy all the courses, but if you don't execute, you're just consuming. Success is not a classroom, it's a battlefield. You learn by doing, you learn by bleeding, you learn by failing forward, and if that scares you, you're not ready. But if you feel that fire in your gut, if you're tired of being average, if you know you were built for more, then it's time to rise. Time to move, time to claim what's yours. You weren't put here to just exist. You were built to conquer, built to lead, built to build something immortal. So stop wasting time. Stop waiting for permission. Stop negotiating with weakness. Go all in. Go with fire. Go with focus. Because riches don't come to the hesitant. They come to the relentless. At the end of the day, getting rich isn't about luck. It's not about being in the right place at the right time. It's about deciding that you're done playing small, done making excuses, done waiting for someone to save you. Wealth is earned by killers, by builders, by those who are too stubborn to quit and too focused to lose. You either become the kind of man who commands success, or you stay in the shadows watching other people live your dream. No one's going to hand you millions. No one's going to force you to be disciplined. You either do the work or you don't. You either rise or you rot. And if you think this world owes you anything, you've already lost. The truth is brutal, but it's also beautiful. Because the moment you accept full responsibility for your life, you unlock unstoppable power. So stop asking for directions, stop waiting for validation. You already know what you need to do, you just haven't done it until now. Go build the life no one believes you can have, and when you arrive, don't apologize. Dominate.